is MAC basketball on ESPN3 on this, the final day of the regular season. And this afternoon from New Rochelle, New York, the Iona Gales, defending champions against first place Monmouth. They've already clinched the regular season championship. And welcome, I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Malcolm Huckabee. So the Hawks, winners of 15 straight, but Iona, they burned them in last year's MAC final. They are the Hawks' nemesis, and this just a preview, really, of the main event next week in Albany, New York.
Yeah, anytime these two teams get together, it is a fun, exciting game. I expect to be a lot of intensity and two teams that are at the top of the league in terms of on the offensive side. This should be fun.
Let's take a look at our top players, brought to you by I Love New York. And for Monmouth, their point guard, Justin Robinson, could be a back-to-back player of the year.
Justin Robinson is not only one of the best players in the MAC conference, but in the country, period. He is one of the most difficult guards to keep in front of you. Right now, he leads the MAC in points per game, and he's right up there in the assists. That's going to be a key theme in this game, how Iona matches up against him.
And for the Gales, it all starts and stops with Jordan Washington and keeping him out of foul trouble.
Yeah, fourth in the MAC in points per game. He's also a guy that can rebound, but you're right. He must stay out of foul trouble in this game. Senior night, though, for Iona. That's the story in this game. How the emotions of these guys are in this game. I think that's going to be a key theme in this for Iona as well, too.
Let's meet the starting lineups for this one. They're brought to you by BSN Sports as the Hawks come on the road here from the Jersey Shore. Micah Seaborn, their star sophomore, MAC Rookie of the Year last season. He's been bothered by knee issues in recent weeks, but he gets a nod among the starting five tonight with Hornbeak, Robinson, Brady, and James. On the other side, the Iona Gales here on Senior Day, and here is their starting five. Ricky McGill, they're going to need a big effort from their sophomore point guard, especially defensively, given what he did in last year's MAC tournament title game against Justin Robinson. Well, Malcolm, you look at this matchup, Monmouth has already won the regular season. They're the #1 seed in next week's MAC tournament. But going back to last year, Monmouth won the first meeting of the year. Iona then crushed them down in Jersey, and that confidence helped them in the MAC tournament final. So what does this second meeting mean here today?
I think it means a lot. I called that game at Monmouth when Iona dominated that game, and it started on the defensive end, and I used the right word. You used it, confidence. I think this is an important game for both teams. In particular, you talked to Coach Clues before the game. They could be potentially playing in another 8 to 10 days. So, important game for both teams for the confidence factor going into MAC tournament play.
Tim Clues, Iona's coach for 7 years now. Here is an amazing number. In 7 years leading the Gales, Malcolm, not once have they been swept in the regular season by an opponent. Monmouth can do that here today with a win.
Yeah, and I think the big thing, and anytime you play against Monmouth, it's going to start with how you defend Justin Robinson. I think he's going to be the two-time MAC Player of the Year, and they must keep him under control, Iona, if they want to win this game.
First meeting to the Hawks early January, 92-74. They were up big at the break and cruised. First touch for Seaborn is a three, in and out, and the rebound for Jordan Washington. Why is he so important for the Gales, Malcolm?
Just for that right there, defensive rebounding. Again, with Monmouth, they want to play fast, but for Iona, they must not give up second chance points to Monmouth.
Deshaun Much at the controls for Iona, coming off a 19-point effort last time out for the Gales against Manhattan. Cedric Casimir, Rookie of the Year 2 years ago, off the mark for the Gales on their first trip. Brady denied by Washington in a big battle of post players today.
That's excellent defense by Washington, holding his ground, and that's going to be another key matchup, these two bigs.
Washington couldn't knock it down, so the Gales 0 for their first two. Likewise from Monmouth. Hawks scoring 81 points per game. Iona in that neighborhood as well. These are two teams that love to get after it and free up open looks.
Yeah, two of the better offensive teams in the MAC conference. And transition defense will also be a key factor and theme in this game. Transition points given up by both teams.
So far, combined 0 for 5. Hawks have missed their first 3 shots. Jan Svanderlik getting the start for the Gales. Much starting for a second straight game. 8 to shoot for Iona. Deshaun Much dribbled off the foot of Josh James. It will stay with the Gales, but only 2 on the shot clock.
Yeah, early on in this game, both teams playing some excellent defense. Contested shots, and then they're finishing off the plays, defensive rebounding.
10th MAC meeting between these two. Hawks joined the league a couple of years ago. Shot clock violation on Iona. And the big storyline coming into a game like this, these teams, there's not a lot of love lost. So my question to you is, can you call it a rivalry even after 11 prior meetings?
Absolutely you can. And again, you said it best. There's not a lot of love lost, or not a lot of love at all between these two teams. So,
well, the steal there for Much, trying to get the Gales on the board, deflected, and it's going to stay with Iona. Of course, we remember fireworks the last time these teams met in this building, the Heinz Athletic Center.
And big reason why it's a rivalry, because they've been two of the best teams in this conference the last several years. And the way they play, style of play, they're both aggressive on both ends of the court, and they like to get up and down.
Washington puts it on the deck. Doesn't go. Both teams 0 for 3, but Casimir, little guy at 5'10", gets the rebound. Washington's being hounded by Brady with some help from Robinson, and now Hornbeek. 10 to shoot. Spin move, hook shot. Doesn't go, and the Gales are 0 for their first 4. Jalon Hornbeek improvises, forced that one. And Malcolm, neither team can buy a bucket. We're scoreless with over 3 gone by.
Well, we expected more offense, but early on, the defense has been excellent on both sides. Nothing coming easy.
Let's see if Much can change that. Hits the toughest shot either team's taken so far.
That's a tough fadeaway jumper. But even better, after the score, make or miss, Monmouth wants to get up and down. That's excellent transition defense by Iona.
It's going the other way. Offensive foul. And it's Josh James for extending the arm. Brian Dorsey, one of the officials, along with Earl Walton and Clarence Armstrong, with the call.
And it was a good call. He got the arm extended, and that's excellent positioning on defense, shutting down the dribble drive, forcing a turnover.
Tim Cluse's turn to E.J. Crawford, number 2 in white. Second best in terms of three-point percentage in the MAC, and a guy who's coming off the bench today. Robinson and the Hawks trying to get on the board. Look at that move. And another move to get to the rim.
One of the most explosive guards in college, Justin Robinson, is a handful to keep out of the lane. He is just so quick, so explosive, making it look easy that time, knifing through the Iona D.
This guy's pretty good too. Guard-like moves for Jordan Washington, and he will go to the free throw line with over 4 gone by. Points, well, they're at a premium so far in New Rochelle, tied at 2 between the top 2 scoring teams in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Carve your
UHY experience the next level of service. So we got our sponsors in, and Washington drains a free throw. 3-2 Iona, and it stays that way after the missed 3 from Monmouth. Obviously a big game in this rivalry whenever it's the Hawks and Gales, but Malcolm Huckabee, both teams taking their time settling in.
And this is how both teams want to play. They want to get up and down early on in this game. It's been a struggle, and big reason why, the contested shots.
Not that time for the big fella.
And just when I think all shots are contested, that's the matchup, I think the problem matchup for Monmouth in this game. Jordan Washington is a handful, a big that can create matchup problems for opposing teams.
He seems to be in his element right now. The 6'8" senior transferred into Iona from junior college. Crawford, tough shot off the glass and taken by James. Josh James, one of the prize seniors for Monmouth, then it's an offensive foul. Washington draws the charge, and that's number 2 on Josh James.
And both of them have been charges, and both times extending his arm. Now this one I think was potentially a questionable call. The first one he definitely got the arm out, but nonetheless he is on the bench in foul trouble. And again, excellent team defense by Iona. They're shutting down all dribble drive lanes for Monmouth in this game early.
Washington back to the bench. Taylor Bessick, another senior transfer, began his career. James Madison comes on for Iona. Tim Cluse is just happy. Washington, 5+ minutes in, no fouls.
Yeah, and that's a key theme for Iona, foul trouble, and that's something that they can ill afford to have in this game. Washington not on the floor because of foul trouble.
McGill playing off the ball. John Sevier at the point, explodes to the rim and scores, scooping it in by Chris Brady.
And right now they are attacking Brady. That time put him in a pick and roll, no hedge, and that's just a straight line drive down the lane. Poor pick and roll defense by Monmouth.
Knocked away by Much, regathered by Hornbeek. Off the bounce, Tillman, no, and it's tapped out to Ricky McGill. Monmouth ice cold to the tune of a 1 of 8 start. Their only points courtesy of Robinson on the layup. Sevier squeezes through, he's denied that time. Block shot from Micah Seaborn. Hornbeek been out of control. Brady trying to stuff it, and he's fouled.
Well, dribble penetration just breaks down your D, and in transition, make or miss, Monmouth is one of the best teams racing the ball up the court and then trying to get easy opportunities. Right here, off the miss, get it up the court, draw 3 defenders, and then dish it off. And speaking with Iona coach Tim Cluse before the game, he said transition defense is key number 1 in this game. And anytime you play Monmouth, I said it at the tip, you have to have all 5 guys back in the lane, but you have to honor their 3-point shooting. That's why they are such a difficult team to defend in transition.
Colin Stewart, one of their seniors, has come on for Micah Seaborn. And Brady 1 for 2 at the line. Even a guy like Colin Stewart, you're mentioning the 3-point ability. He's 6'8", he can spot up from 3.
Shooters all around for Monmouth.
Crawford straight on, buries the 3 with a hand in his face from Stewart.
Well, both teams tops in the league, 3-pointers made per game. Monmouth close to 10, Iona close to 10, and Monmouth right around the 9 mark. So you know you must defend the 3-point line. Both teams, that's going to be a factor.
Oh, what a take. Flexing his muscles. Austin Tillman will have a chance at 3. Second foul on Bessick.
And he was right to flex the muscles. That's a big boy move right there. A spin move. It was beautiful. And then he was able to take the hit right here. Nice kick by Robinson. Don't settle for the 3. Take the hit and then finish. That's a big time move by Tillman.
One of those guys who just fits his role for Monmouth, the junior from Wilmington, Delaware, plays almost half the game on average. Crawford with the rebound after the miss. 10-5 Iona with 7 and change gone by. Sam Cassell Jr., number 1 in white, handles for Iona.
I'd say his dad was a pretty good player.
Not too bad. Florida State, couple of NBA titles with the Rockets. This guy's not too bad either. Jordan Washington. Boy, he is in his element, isn't he?
Well, he reminds me so much of a guy they had a few years back, Lowry. A matchup nightmare because of his ability to step out on the perimeter, shoot 3s, and also put the ball on the floor. Just a really difficult matchup.
Jordan Washington with 5. He's 2 of 5 from the field. Here's Crawford now with 10 to shoot. Offloads to Cassell. And the rebound to Jelon Hornby. Transferred in before last year from Oklahoma. Nice to his jump step, and he lays it in.
Nice use of the head fake that time. Iona's been so aggressive on defense that time. Good patience in transition. And if I'm Iona right now, I got to get Washington a touch. He's been the matchup problem, and there they go, getting him the ball.
Second effort, and he's fouled by Diego Quinn. Not an easy matchup. You come into the game, and that's the man you have to deal with. Gales by 5, early going in New Rochelle.
With Coach Rice, Coach, just 7 points in the early going. What is Iona's defense doing to make things difficult for you?
Well, they're getting back and not letting us score in transition.
And Jordan Washington attacking early. What do you guys have to do to slow him down?
Just stay the course. It's a high emotional game. It's senior day. So, you know, they got 12. They usually score a lot more than that too. So just two good teams going after each other.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
So Malcolm, transition defense, what King Rice wants to see improve. Neither team scored for the first 3.5 minutes. It's a 5-point game now.
Yeah, and I think really he's right too. Neither team really getting anything going. The problem right now, you look at it, Washington, and Iona's got to do a job of making sure they continue to go to him, and he's the guy that really Monmouth has had no answer for early in this game.
Tim Cluse, his team last year winning the MAC championship, taking down the #1 seed Monmouth in the championship game. The Hawks, despite terrific wins over UCLA and Notre Dame, USC snubbed from the Big Dance. They eventually lost in the NIT to George Washington. And now you look at it this year, they're at 17 league wins again. They could eclipse last year's win total in MAC play.
Yeah, and we did a blind resume the last time I did a Monmouth game, and it's comparable, with the exception maybe of 1 or 2 key wins or marquee wins, if you will, but they've had another excellent season, and I think deserving of an NCAA bid if they are not able to go on and win the conference tournament.
Return 4 starters from last year. Wonderful senior class, arguably the most decorated in school history. And the question is, can they add an NCAA tournament berth to their resume?
And the debate always with these one-bid conferences are when you have a team like Monmouth last year, who I felt matched up against any pop conference, they're deserving as we take a look at some good ball movement by Monmouth. But my point on that is don't penalize them for the power conferences not playing them. It's not like they were shying away from them. And again, their resume and the wins they had last year, I think it was a shame. And I believe they got robbed not getting a bid into the tournament.
RPI this year sits at 43. It was even better last year. Here's Washington off the mark that time. Washington's been active now, 2 for 7. He has scored 6. Tillman to the rim, and he scores against Crawford.
And that is all set up by Quinn. Diego Quinn cleared a path. And a lot of times you'll see bigs do that where he basically sealed off the opposing big, not giving him a chance to slide over and help out. And that's an excellent job by Quinn.
Hawks began this game 1 for 8. They've now made their last 4 shots. Nearing the midway point first half. Iona by 1. John Sevier hesitates. Washington tap up, 0 for 2. And it's finally gathered by Tillman. Tillman offloads, and Quinn, who cleared space earlier, is rewarded this time.
And that time, Tillman returns the favor. The previous play, Quinn cleared out a lane for him. That time, beautiful dime by Tillman. And you're seeing now the transition offense of Monmouth starting to kick in.
7-0 run. They have their first lead today. Cassell a bit out of control to Crawford. Drains a 3. That's his second from that spot.
And that's really on Stewart. Crawford's already knocked down a 3. Stewart has got to crowd him on the 3-point line. You can't give him any airspace.
Hard foul, Washington knocking Robinson down. Jordan Washington just walks away as Robinson takes the brunt of it.
And right here again, Stewart, you can't help off of him. He's already knocked down a 3. That time, you cannot help off a guy that has already knocked down 3s. That's really poor identification of who the personnel is out on the court. In that situation, you got to stay home on the 3-point shooter.
So let's turn the conversation to this young man. He is obviously known for the white headband and, of course, what he does on the floor. Justin Robinson, final regular season game, and a guy who has made huge leaps from year to year. As a senior, he's averaging 21 points in MAC play.
He's a guy that's going to play for a paycheck at the next level, whether it's NBA or overseas. He is that good. I've spoken to some NBA scouts about Justin Robinson, and he is a guy, because of the ability to dominate a game from the point guard position, he is going to have an opportunity, again, to play for a paycheck. He is just so good and so fun to watch.
Senior from near the Poughkeepsie area, went to Kingston High School. And now a swan song for Justin Robinson. Will it end in the NCAA tournament? We'll find out by next week. Tillman behind the back. Seaborn pull-up. It's good. Nice feed there by Tillman, who's in rhythm in this first half.
Tillman's putting on a passing show. That's a beautiful behind-the-back pass to set up Seaborn, who passed up the original three, but then nice little hesitation pull-up jumper.
Much back in for Iona. Dribbles through traffic, stripped but fouled. Bailout there, and it goes against Micah Seaborn. Well, Austin Tillman earlier, I guess you could say pulling a Justin Robinson with that time.
And again, that's what makes Monmouth such a good team. It's not just Justin Robinson. Yes, he's their best player, most important player, but again, you have guys like Tillman, who I think is the unsung hero, the X factor on this team. He's built like a fullback, and he is another guy that's a handful to keep out of the lane in transition, and he's putting on a passing display early on in this game.
Much good free throw shooter. Jinxed him. He's now 11 of 14 on the season. Ricky McGill back on for the Gales. Will take the spot of Cassell Jr., who transferred in before this season after graduating from UConn.
And you've been doing games for too long to know, as soon as you say guy's a good free throw shooter, they miss it.
It's the hard part of the business. We lose sleep wondering if we're going to do that to guys. Robinson off the mark. Big rebound. And Pierre Sarr is going to the line. I don't think we should say anything. Don't want to jinx him.
I'll say it this time. How about we just do a rotating schedule on who's a good free throw shooter or not? But one thing Sarr is, and he did it on that last possession there, a guy that's active on the offensive glass. And again, because Monmouth has such good spacing on offense, their bigs and forwards will have opportunities to pick up some loose balls and offensive rebounds.
Louis Polari back in for Monmouth, takes a spot of Robinson, so he'll get a little below. Robinson averaging 33 minutes a game. That last foul for Iona was their fourth. It went against Crawford. Monmouth with 5 fouls in this first half.
Well, fatigue could play a factor in this game. Both teams playing on Friday. Monmouth had senior night on Friday in a tough game that they were able to win at home, and Iona as well.
McGill leaner, in and out, and it's tapped to Tillman. Austin Tillman now with 4 boards, but he coughs it up. Here comes Much the other way. Much, look at the explosion. Deshaun Much. Well, both teams have settled in 20-19 Monmouth. Winners of 15 straight, leading by 1. Seaborn out of a double. Tillman lowers his shoulder, and he's dragged down to the hardwood. Let's see. It's going the other way. Offensive foul on Tillman. Casimir draws the charge. Team foul number 6 on Monmouth. Much in the Gales, back within 1. And the 2017 MAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships head back to the Times Union Center in Albany, New York, March 2nd through the 6th. You can purchase your tickets today by logging on to macsports.com/basketball or Ticketmaster.com or any MAC school box office. 2017 MAC Basketball Championships. It's the tournament before the tournaments. And Malcolm Huckabee, certainly the pressure is on Monmouth. Can they break through as a #1 seed that is cruising at this juncture?
Yeah, and they secured up the regular season title. And again, obviously being a one-bid league, the question mark, as you said, how can they put together a string of games and wins to punch a ticket into the big dance?
A lot of pressure those final 40 minutes of the season for any mid-major. Certainly for a coach. Seaborn in and out, and Casimir rips it down for Iona. They know just one way, it's fast. And shooting threes, Crawford can't hit. Hornbeek trying to answer, out of control, but at the last moment to foul. Tim Kluse doesn't like it. It's against the Gales, and I believe it's Bessick, and that's his third.
Yeah, Tim Kluse not happy with that, and it was a bailout. Again, right here, you have a guy going out of control. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's a tough ball right there, and I think Tim Kluse has a pretty good argument on that one. He's still working the referees.
4 o'clock tip. I think it's safe to say he and Brian Dorsey won't be doing dinner after this one.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, I'd go all in on that one right there.
It's a good push. Much from near midcourt. Wow, you talk about feeling it. That was at the Iona midcourt logo.
Absolutely, that was beyond Steph Curry range right there.
It's amazing what Steph has inspired around the country, right? Limitless range. That's a little more conventional. Hornbeek off the head fake, buries the three.
50-50 balls. We have not talked about them, but in particular, the way these two teams shoot threes, long rebounds is going to be a key factor. They must come up with those, both teams, in order to limit the second chance opportunities.
With Bessick picking up his third, Tim Kluse goes back to Washington. His star has one foul. Trying to manage those minutes. Much, tough shot, and Brady with the rebound.
Much is taking some really difficult jumpers these last two possessions. I think that's when he has to kick back to Washington and then let him go to work.
Iona matching out of its own. Robinson at the far table, set to come in next whistle for the Hawks. They have 9 to shoot. Hornbeek's trapped. Reaching in Washington. Is this number 2? It is. Jordan Washington with 2, and remember, Bessick already has 3.
And that's one that Coach Tim Kluse is shaking in his head because Washington really not a good foul. He had him doubled. There was no need to reach. And, again, we talked about it. Foul trouble for Washington. That's going to be a key theme in this game.
Comes with 5:14 to go in the first half. And Monmouth leading 23-19. Off the inbounds. Hornbeek, short. Brian Dorsey making another call. Looked like a late whistle, but he gets Sarr for Monmouth with the foul. He was already back near midcourt, racing up the floor.
And it must have been something extracurricular that we did not see running up the court, because the referee immediately blew the whistle and then pointed at Sarr and said, "Don't ever do that again." So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But King Rice, I think, right thing, pulling him out of the game and talking to him. And whatever it is that he did, certainly I don't think he will be doing again in this game. I think the referee made that very evident when he looked at him and said, "Don't ever do that again, young man."
And this is a veteran officiating crew, and I'm sure they know the history between these two rivals and what happened last year, a game in which near the buzzer there was a scuffle and Jordan Washington was suspended for a couple of games as a result. Let's look again.
Yeah, a little push in the back right there. And yeah, and I think you're right, the history, and they know it, veteran crew, and I think that's a good call. Clean it up right before anything starts up, and that's an excellent job by the referee.
Much back in for Iona, takes a spot of Casimir. And Malcolm, you played at Boston College, so What do you remember about those rivalries with, say, Providence or UConn? You knew going in it was going to be one of those grinded-out Big East games.
Well, right here as Justin Robinson takes a deep three, it was anytime we played Providence, we never did a scouting report. It came down to, are you going to be able to rebound and not get punked out in a game? And it was as simple as that. So those rivalry games, again, you throw all records, statistics out the window. It comes down to execution, but more importantly, toughness.
John Sevier executes for the Gales his second bucket, and the Fordham transfer now with 4. Third tie, we're deadlocked at 23. Seaborn over Svanderlek. Brady near offensive goaltend, but he tips it up and in.
Well, with Washington on the bench, the leading rebounder for Iona, Brady should have some opportunities, whether it's offensive putbacks like that or around the basket in post plays.
Reset here for Iona. And with Washington saddled with 2, Bessick with 3, Tyrell Williams is in. Sevier left it short. Robinson with speed, hangs, and he's denied by Williams. Skip pass. Much sizing up Stewart. Deshaun Much drills the 3.
Well, the elevation that Much gets on his pull-up jumpers is impressive. He has got great body control and elevation when he rises up for jumpers.
This will go against Svanderlek for reaching in. So Jan Svanderlek picks up his first, and the 7th on Iona. Bonus trip for the Monmouth Hawks when we come back to New Rochelle. NCAA March Madness is headed back to Buffalo March 16th and 18th, 2017. Be there to share the experience with your family and friends. Visit ncaa.com/MBB tickets for ticket and hospitality options. And remember, last time Buffalo hosted the first and second rounds, a team by the name of the Connecticut Huskies, as a 7th seed, ended up beginning their journey to a national championship.
Wow, you're going way back on me right now. I like the history lesson that you just took me down right there. But right now in this game, but both teams starting off a struggle to get any offense going. I still say defense has been the key factor in this game. Both teams doing an excellent job in transition defense, not giving up any easy buckets.
Hornbeek earns himself another free throw. Well, Malcolm, Monmouth shooting 38%, Iona 32%, and yet here we are tied at 26. And keep in mind, no one scored for nearly 4 minutes to start the game.
We talked about second chance points. I think that's the X factor. Monmouth right now, 7 second chance points. And those 50-50 balls, again, both teams shoot a lot of threes. There are going to be a lot of long rebounds. I think who wins that battle is going to have a slight edge in this game.
Much from way out there at the edge of the Iona logo again. This time it drops.
Well, his range and elevation on those pull-up jumpers is impressive. That one deep on the eye of Iona.
11 for Deshaun Much. Remember last year hit the key 3 down the stretch, and Iona's winning the MAC final to beat Monmouth and end their dream season and the chance for an NCAA tournament. Hornbeek answers on a broken play, and he got his feet behind the line to drain the 3.
Don't blink in this game. Loose balls, anything. These teams shoot a lot of threes, and they shoot it well. At that time, like you said, broken play, and he was able to step back and knock down the jumper.
You won't get whiplash driving back to Boston. You experience it right now.
It's fun to watch. Both teams playing at a high level.
John Sevier, nice switch, but he's denied. Help came from Seaborn. Off the turnover, Robinson. It's deflected, and it's going to stay with the Hawks. And Tim Cluse looking at John Sevier, who transferred him after graduating from Fordham in 3 years, saying, John, you need to be smarter with that shot.
But the key thing in this right here, okay, it's a bad shot, but then the transition defense was excellent and did not lead to an easy opportunity. Right here, this is good. 5 guys sprinting back to clog up the lane.
Cleanup, Brady. Oh, it popped out. But he's winning that matchup without Washington out there.
But that's one that he needs to put in. Point blank, he's right in front of the basket. He got to score that. That should be a deuce for Monmouth.
Coming up on 90 seconds to go first half. Offensive rebound, Tyrell Williams. It's going the other way. Williams for moving with the screen and trying to free up much.
But I like what Iona is doing. They are putting Brady in pick and roll situations, and he is not coming out to head. So if they continue to work that matchup, they're going to be able to come off clean on pick and roll situations.
Ed Cohen, Malcolm Huckabee, our ESPN3 crew, led by Steve Fennig this afternoon from New Rochelle. Regular season finale. Williams picks up another. That's his second. It's going to send Seaborn to the line. So Bessick with 3, Washington and now Williams each with 2, the post players for Iona.
Yeah, this is just an aggressive move right here. And yeah, really no need for him to break the plane. Anytime you come down and break the plane and make contact, that's an easy call for the referee. He had good position. All he had to do was stay straight up and make it difficult for him to get that shot off.
One more for Seaborn. Mac.tv is your official source of Mac Live and on-demand sports, featuring 8 Mac School digital network. The portal includes live contests from Canisius, Fairfield, Iona, Manhattan, Marist, Monmouth, Ryder, and St. Peter's, plus Mac Championship events. Visit mac.tv/register to sign up now. The largest lead for either side was 7 for the Gales. Right now down 3. Robinson giving Crawford 0 space. Crawford stripped. Shot clock at 5, straight on. Cassell answers with a 3. Robinson can't answer. About 6 seconds or so separate game clock from shot clock. Just got quiet in here.
Well, right now, I think they're going to go back Iona to a pick and roll situation. The bigs of Monmouth right now in this game have been having a difficult time defending the screen and rolls.
5 to shoot. Cassell gets the handoff from 3 again. And Tillman with it. 5 seconds for Monmouth. Austin Tillman pulls up for 3 and hits in the final second. And the first half ends with Monmouth leading it by 3 in New Rochelle.
Well, it was back and forth, but if you're Monmouth on the road, you cannot ask for a better finish to the first half. Get a stop on defense and then race up, knock down the 3 ball with the time running out. And that has been the difference in the first half right here. A transition 3 off of an excellent defensive stop, and Monmouth now has a 3-point lead going into the half on the road.
Justin, close ball game in this first half, 35-32. Not yet? Oh, sorry, my bad. Robinson, Justin, it's been a close game here in this first half. You guys hit the 3 to separate yourselves, get the lead into halftime. How important is that for momentum?
That's an extreme momentum pusher. We just want to keep winning the game and keep doing the little things to ensure that we win the game.
Iona right now seems very focused in on you. How important is it for you to get your teammates involved and open up shots for yourself later on in the game?
But they want to focus in on me, that's fine. As long as we win the game at the end, that's all that matters.
Thank you.
Yep.
Well, Justin Robinson, 1 of 6 in that first half. He was 0 of 4 from 3, scored 4 points in 17 minutes. The good news is he only turned it over once among the 6 from Monmouth in that first half. As for Iona, let's hear from Deshaun Much.
Here with Deshaun Much. Deshaun, a close game here in this first half. You had it going from beyond the arc. What looks did you get that got you going here in this first half?
Just my teammates finding me, in open spots. They know I'm a
great catch-and-shoot player, so I just I'm giving the praise to my teammates. They're just finding me in good spots.
Close ball game, down 3. How important is those first 5 minutes going to be coming out of the locker room?
Every game that's important. I'm kind of disappointed in myself by giving up that last 3, so we're going to talk defense, and we're going to come out and play as hard as we can second half.
Thank you. Best of luck rest of the way.
Adjustments for both sides as we start the second half.
For Iona, they have to get touches for Jordan Washington as they go to him immediately to start the second half, and that is key number 1 for me for Iona. Washington must touch the ball, I believe, on every offensive possession. Run your offense through him, and then on the other side, if you're Monmouth, Justin Robinson does not need to score a lot, in particular to dominate this game. He needs to continue to try to get dribble penetration, and they must get some more opportunities in transition. But credit Iona in that first half. They limited the fast break points for Monmouth in that first half.
Our star watch, the reigning MAC Player of the Year, Robinson. And then a guy in Washington who, Tim Cluse, we spoke to him earlier, he said, he's one of the most frustrating guys to coach, but boy, does he have a big heart, and he plays within himself game in and game out. Steps there on Casimir.
Yeah, he is, but I think early on in this game, he's established himself as the problem matchup. And again, that's what you want to go to if you're Iona. Make it easy for yourself, play through him, and then you'll get some higher percentage shots from the perimeter when he forces double teams.
Second meeting of the year. This one to close the regular season for Monmouth and Iona. Hawks cruised in the first meeting, and they cruised there with the alley-oop. Robinson to Hornbeek.
It was a beautiful set play and no communication by Iona, and the pass by Robinson was on point. Beautifully executed play for the lob alley-oop.
Hornbeek now with 12. Began his career at Oklahoma. He's now 15 points shy of 1,000. Casimir, floater. Brady had the position. Washington going over the back, and that's number 3 on Jordan Washington.
All right, here, this is this beautiful execution, and the pass by Robinson, beautifully executed. And so often you see on lobs, the pass is not there that time. Robinson put it right on the money. Easy catch and finish.
They've done that time and again the last few years. Brady on the entry from James. Those seniors have combined for a number of buckets in the last 4 seasons.
And Tim Cluse is yelling at Jordan Washington right now. And his post defense, he was rightfully so. He just allowed Brady to catch the ball 2 feet under the basket, and really no contest on the layup, and he's going to come out of the game.
Stripped that time. Looked like Robinson knocked it away. It'll stay with Iona with 8 to shoot. Beswick's coming back on for Washington. Let's take a look at the first half stats brought to you by I Love New York, New York State. It's all here. It's only here. And your thoughts as Iona went 5 of 11 and was down by 3 at the break.
Well, really evenly matched in terms of defensive effort. Both teams are excellent. But again, the second chance points, and in particular those 50-50 balls, went in the direction of Monmouth. They got 7 second chance points in that first half.
Much got it away, but it came up short to beat the shot clock. Robinson lowers the shoulder. He's fouled by Sam Cassell Jr. And for the 6'4" graduate student, Cassell picks up his first.
Well, you see guys now having success at the NBA level, and they've been doing it for years. But, you know, Isaiah Thomas, I think of J.J. Barea, a guy that played at a smaller school, Northeastern. And for me, Justin Robinson is just as explosive and just as difficult to keep out of the lane. And nobody's been able to do it this year. There's very few teams.
Cassell picks up back-to-back fouls. Clarence Armstrong called it. Cassell not pleased. And for Iona, team foul number 3 here in the second half. 2:04 has gone by.
And right here, let's see, both teams. Yeah, he got the arm out. Now, both teams are going after it, but certainly he had that left arm out, and the referee's right on top of it. It's a tough call because, again, he's just trying to go after a loose ball, but he did get his arm extended.
You were speaking about Robinson. He's 5'8". He's blossomed in his final 2 years. He takes that 3 and misses from way out there. What's a challenge when you start a career at 5'8"? And what What are the keys as you progress through your career in learning how to handle yourself as one of the smaller guys on the floor?
Well, I don't think it's been a problem for him. I think really it's evaluating him. And again, for so many years, he's been told he's not big enough. And King Rice told the story of recruiting him as we take a look at another lob. But the recruitment of Justin Robinson, he was recruiting other guys.
Yeah.
And he looked on the other court and he said, there's this little guy over there getting buckets. He just kept getting buckets. And all these guys that were higher recruited, he was just blown by them, and they couldn't guard him. And, again, I don't think it's an issue for him. He's always been the same player. I think it's more us adjusting to him and how dominant he has been in such a small frame.
Taylor Bessick here on senior day, working the glass. And he'll have a chance at 3 for Iona.
Speaking of dominance right here, this is just a great effort on the offensive glass, off the miss. And that's just good concentration and finish by Bessick.
We talked about the foul trouble for Bessick with 3, Washington with 3. That was the third on Chris Brady. Seaborn finds it. Remember, Seaborn's been dealing with knee issues the last few weeks. Robinson spins, lost his footing, and Cassell about to jump out of the building. He's picked up his third foul in less than 3 minutes since the break.
Well, he's got to be careful not to pick up a technical. Again, referees do not like being shown up. Now, whether or not you agree with the call or not, your reaction sometimes could draw the ire of a referee. We're going to take a second look at it right here. Yeah, it's a tough call, and good reason to be upset.
Hornbeak may have taken a step. Nonetheless, he turns it over. Turnover number 7 for Monmouth compared to 3 for Iona. Hawks will be the number 1 seed at next week's MAC tournament. Bessick in a battle down low with Diego Quinn. 10 to shoot for Iona. Jan Svanderlik offloads to Severe. Between the legs. Frees it up. McGill drains the 3 on the Severe setup.
That's beautiful penetrate and kick by Severe to McGill, who was right in rhythm, right on stride. 4-3.
Pull up 3. Seaborn no. Long rebound to Severe. And Iona, which was down by 7 moments ago, has a chance to take the lead now with a 3. Hesitation from Severe. Couldn't flick it in. Knocked away by Munch. Severe could not keep it alive on the baseline. But Malcolm Huckabee, this one in the balance in New Rochelle.
Well, we're seeing some good execution on the offensive end by Iona. Beautiful by Severe to McGill. Right now, Iona up 2.
Iona Gales will be the number 3 seed because earlier today, Malcolm Huckabee, St. Peter's winning on the road at Canisius. John Dunn's Peacocks in his tenure over 10 years in Jersey City had never been better than 3rd. They finished 2nd. What a run.
He has done an outstanding job, and a guy obviously in contention for Coach of the Year as we take a look at some excellent execution by Monmouth against that pressure.
Bessick running the floor, missed the layup, so this could be the Hawks' 5-point swing, and they get it courtesy of Hornbeak from near midcourt again.
Well, transition defense, again, I can't say it enough. So key against Monmouth. Make or miss, they're going to run up. And right there, that's really not bad transition defense, but Monmouth's so good. And that time, nobody really close enough, and Hornbeak made him pay.
Just like that at the timeout, the lead up to 7. Severe 2-point shot is good. His feet were inside the line. You know, Tim Cluse, he loves the fact that it went down. He wants to see a 3 there, not a 2.
One of the leaders in the conference, 3s made per game, Iona, close to 10. We talked about that in a tip, and still good offense by Iona.
Diego Quinn had the position and scores. Count it. Svanderlik with the foul.
Well, the one thing that Monmouth's bigs have an advantage of is down low in the post. On the opposite end, they've been struggling in pick and roll defense, as you saw that last severe bucket off of a pick and roll. But right now, again, on the other side, when Monmouth does not have transition opportunities, I think they need to continue to try to pound the ball down low to Quinn and Brady and let them go to work.
Svanderlich will exit after the foul. Cassell re-enters, and Diego Quinn, sophomore, went to prep school in Illinois at Lake Forest, one of the top schools for producing talent in the nation. 60% from the line. We didn't jinx him. He has 5 points. Iona goes with a smaller look here, and Williams, they're big, with Washington and Bessick both saddled with 3. Severe gets a big screen. Williams freed up space. A lot of contact going for the board. Loose ball foul taken here by Hornby.
First foul on Hornby, 3rd on the team.
Well, I like what Iona is doing, though. They continue to work the pick and roll sets. And again, Quinn and Brady, not the best in terms of defending pick and rolls. And right now, Iona is getting some shots in that situation.
Gales this half 3 of 9. Monmouth is 5 of 7. That's why they lead it by 8. Here's Cassell against Seaborn. Severe using the screen. Severe, that's his shot. Mid-range off the pull-up.
And again, Quinn, the big for Monmouth, not stepping up the hedge on that ball screen, and Iona's taking advantage of it.
High-low, and Quinn is fouled. Go to the big fella at 6'10". John Severe, the helper, is called for the foul.
Well, it's interesting, the strategy right now, because, again, Monmouth knows in pick-and-roll situations they're having problems defending, but then on the other side, they know that Iona has a problem defending Quinn down low in the post, so it's an excellent job by both teams exploiting the weaknesses of the defenses on both sides.
One more coming for Diego Quinn. For Iona this half, that was their 6th team foul compared to 3 for Monmouth. And the Hawks shoot it well. Both teams do. Monmouth 75% as a team. 14:02 left. They're going to spend a lot of time down the stretch at the line.
Well, Quinn really has struggled in conference play from the free throw line. You said for the season, but in conference, he's below 52% coming into this game.
Williams screening off Tillman. Severe still looking for room. Muscles his way in, and Quinn didn't give up any space. Tillman, the look off. Left it short. Here comes Cassell the other way. It's like a stampede every time down the floor for these two teams.
And that time, Monmouth, excellent job in transition defense.
Nice rotation. Cassell now fires. Too much. Colin Stewart on the attack. The senior stripped by Severe. Cassell leads the break. Out for Much. Deshaun Much buries the 3. And a turnover. It's going back to Iona.
Well, that's an unselfish play right here by Sam Cassell Jr. Beautiful transition offense. Dribble, penetrate, and then kick it out to a wide open three-point shooter. And that's just unselfish by Cassell Jr.
Deshaun Much has hit 3 threes. He has scored 14. 2 assists now for Cassell. 5 ties, 7 lead changes so far. Much squeezes through and flicks it in off the window. 16 for Much.
Well, here's what's going to happen for Monmouth. Their bigs are going to have to step up and do a better job hedging or slowing down the dribble penetration of Iona guards when they come off.
Williams doing a nice job defending Brady inside. 5 to shoot. Hornbeak to the rim, contact, blocking foul. Williams right near the restricted area. And for Tyrell Williams, that is his third.
Right here, again, good patience by Monmouth. And yeah, that's an excellent call by the referees. He was moving over into the path of the driver. That's an excellent call. Referees were right on point on that call right there.
Tim Cluse is saying that should not have been in the process of shooting. It is the 7th foul, so it puts Monmouth in the bonus, but Hornbeak's going to shoot 2.
Now, on that argument, I think he has a point. I'm not sure he was in the act of shooting. It looked like he was still driving to the basket, but nonetheless, he's going to get 2 freebies.
Max Online Store is the official online store of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. This store offers customizable merchandise and championship apparel for all Max Sports. Visit maxsports.com and click the shop icon to get your fan gear today. We like to call it swag here in the modern world, right?
I like it. And I'm liking the swag of both these teams, really. A well-played game, evenly played game. It's been back and forth, and we've seen some excellent execution on both ends by both teams.
How about Jalon Hornbeak? He has scored 17 double figures now in 9 straight. He's 4 of 4 at the line. John Sevier here against Tillman. Off the Williams screen. And Tillman with the rebound. Robinson back in for Monmouth. Had a nice little stint on the bench there. Hawks didn't give up the lead. Brady offensive board. Knocked out. Last touch by Sevier.
Timeout.
We'll step aside from New Rochelle here in the regular season finale. Regular season champs by 3.
Coach Tim Cluse, coach, a tight ball game. Big crowd here today for senior day. How do you keep your boys focused and under control down the stretch?
Just trying to play one play at a time and play with really good energy. It's great that the crowd is here and supporting our guys like this, and really want to give them an exciting game and our seniors something special to remember this by.
Right now, Deshaun Much is on fire, 16 points on 60% shooting. What are you seeing from him today?
I think he's being aggressive offensively, and he's done that for the last 2 games, so it's good to see.
Best of luck rest of the way, Coach. Thank you.
Roll with it. Well, Malcolm Huckabee, this says so much about both programs. Under Tim Cluse, Iona has never been swept by one team in a regular season. Monmouth wears a 15 straight back-to-back regular season champs. They can do that with a win today.
Yeah, and both teams are evenly matched. It really is fun to watch them play. Both teams want to get up and down. They're excellent in transition, and obviously at home right now, Tim Cluse talked about it. Excellent crowd, great crowd. I did the senior night for the Monmouth game, equally as impressive, but today the home crowd for Iona, I think really a factor in this game. They're behind this team. This place is live, and it's loud in here. I can barely hear you right now.
Always fun here in New Rochelle. They're going to go to the Beachmont Tavern across the street when this one's all said and done. The 4 o'clock tips are nice, right?
I like it, but I tell you what's even more impressive, this game, both teams really executing well, and this afternoon showcase of 2 top teams in the map.
Ed Cohen, Malcolm Huckabee, our ESPN3 crew. MAC tournament kicks off Thursday in Albany. Iona will be the 3 seed. Monmouth the number 1. And Austin Tillman for the regular season champs will now go to the free throw line. He's had quite a game. Williams picks up his 4th, and Tillman, who has scored 7 with 8 rebounds, and he's gotten to the rim quite a bit.
Well, he's a big reason why they are the regular season champs, because of his versatility. He's a guy that can defend multiple positions, great size and body control, but also he's a guy that can relieve pressure. I like how he penetrates. He's unselfish. He's a guy that's willing to kick it out, but then when he drives, he is a handful to guard because he's so strong in the upper and lower body.
We have talked so much about the Monmouth seniors and their legacy. A guy like Tillman junior, his role on this team is going to go way up come next year.
And I think they are in good hands. He's a guy that is capable of putting up big numbers. Obviously, he's taking a backseat to Justin Robinson. I think anybody in the MAC conference would do that, but certainly future still very bright for Monmouth.
MAC fans, be sure to follow the MAC on social media using the handle @MACSports and use the hashtag MACHoops. Much putting on the moves. Finger roll is good. How about Jordan Washington setting that screen?
Well, again, I'm just amazed. Right now, Monmouth really has no answer for pick and roll defense as we take a look at more ball movement, but they just continue to execute on the other end. Beautiful action that time off a curl cut, and I'm not sure how you leave Justin Robinson open, shooting over 40% from beyond the arc.
He missed his first 5 threes. Give him a look, he'll finally make one. 7 now for Robinson.
Right now, Monmouth in a matchup zone, and it confused Iona, forcing a turnover, and I like the change by King Rice. They have been primarily man-to-man, but again, going back to their inability to defend the pick and roll, I think they need to go to that matchup zone, in particular to try to protect the bigs of Brady and Quinn.
Off the 4th Iona turnover, Monmouth goes to work. Nearing the midway point, second half. Robinson sizing up Cassell. Sees some space to drive, and Sam Cassell has been carved up this half. He has picked up 4 fouls in 10 minutes. And with Monmouth in the bonus, it's going to be Robinson back at the line.
And that's the problem guarding Robinson. That's all caused by him. Again, he's a guy, most guys that are quick, they're not going to be able to pull up from beyond NBA range. Yeah. That's what Justin Robinson is, and he's shooting over 40%. So you have to respect and honor his jumper. And then he's one of the quickest guys, not in the conference, but in the country. Good luck trying to figure that one out. And that's the reason why I believe he's going to be the 2-time MAC Player of the Year.
Skilled, smart, and you talk to people around the league, Gales and others, respected.
Well, I had my cup of tea with the Miami Heat, and Tim Hardaway, I used to have to chase him around in practice. And I can tell you what, it's no fun guarding a guy that can pull up on the dime from beyond NBA range with that type of quickness. I'm glad I'm sitting here next to you this afternoon and not chasing him around.
You're always welcome in this seat. That was a challenge back in your day. Nice backdoor cut. McGill, they'll give him the layup. Goaltend as Hornbeek swatted it off the rim.
Right here, nice action, little high-low, and that's just beautiful offense. Unselfish by Washington, who's an excellent passer when he gets his opportunities.
Robinson on a kick. Hornbeek on the attack. Swarmed by Washington. And the rebound's taken by McGill.
That's not a good possession by Monmouth.
Dangerous. McGill saves the errant pass. A lot of contact off the ball, Washington and Quinn. And Diego Quinn picks this one up for Monmouth, their 6'10 sophomore.
Well, when Monmouth goes to man-to-man, I like what Iona's doing. They're either doing pick and rolls, but now with Washington back in the game, again, I like that matchup. Let Washington go to work on that pinch post area.
Iona defending MAC tournament champions. 11 trips to the NCAA tournament. Monmouth last went to the Big Dance out of the Northeast Conference in 2006. To shoot for the Gales. Washington, why not? Knocked down, no foul. Robinson with the rebound. Robinson pulling up, short. Tapped out last by Quinn. Iona gets it back with under 9 left.
Well, nothing coming easy in this game on either end. Nice transition defense by Iona. That's all you want to do against Justin Robinson, contest his shots. And they did an excellent job that time, not giving him a clean look.
The largest lead of this game was 8 for Monmouth. A little over 6 minutes ago. Washington dances through and scores. Jordan Washington showing off the entire arsenal.
And again, that is the matchup that's a problem. Just let him go to work. I said it in the first half. They need to run their offense through Jordan Washington. He is just a matchup nightmare. Again, he goes 6'8", 6'9", but he can put it down on the ground like a guard, like he did on that last possession as he finishes off the three-point play.
Look at the fat head. That's how you know you've made it in these parts.
I tell you what, I got to get one of those.
Yes, you do.
You know, people, can I get one of those fat heads? I'll tell you what, though, that is a beautiful move by Washington and one that is going to be problematic for Monmouth to close this game out if they go back to man-to-man.
9 for Washington. Gales back within 2. Hornbeek over Washington. Oh, he saw the matchup, knew he could pull up, and Jelon Hornbeek with 20. Washington back the other way, gets 2 back. Before you blink, Robinson scores for the Hawks.
Well, just when I was going to say beautiful body control by Washington, Robinson did not give me any time because he got up the court that quick. My goodness, it took him less than 3 seconds to race up and get a bucket.
You and about 10 other teams in this league. Washington. Ooh, late whistle, but they'll get Quinn with the contact. And Diego Quinn, remember Brady picked up 3 earlier. Quinn playing a lot of minutes since, now with 4. Hawks up 5. Deshaun Mutch for Iona carrying the load. He has scored 18, making 7 of his first 11 shots today.
And it's been off of some excellent penetration and kickouts in transition. Iona doing an excellent job finding guys, and then out of pick and rolls, that has been the problem area for Monmouth. Their inability of the bigs to come out and defend pick and roll situations. Iona has exploited it in this game.
Deshaun Mutch went down with an injury for the Gales at the Great Alaska Shootout. Coming into the year, Tim Cluse felt he could have a monster season. The junior who began his career at Buffalo. Safe to say, now that he's back healthy, he has regained his stride.
Yeah, he's been impressive early on in that first half. I was impressed with his elevation on pull-up jumpers. He does a nice job coming off ball screens or pick and rolls and then raising up right into his jumper.
13 now for Washington. Well, we knew this would be a precursor to the MAC tournament next week. Monmouth locked into the 1 seed, Iona into the 3. Got a close one here in New Rochelle. Much. Too much there. Fouls James.
Yeah, that time got caught reaching. Good call by the referees. You got to slide your feet. Certainly do not want to pick up a foul in that situation right here. You got to slide your feet. Yeah, definitely reach across the body like that and put James on the free throw line.
One more for James. He's from Westchester County, a homecoming here to New Rochelle. He went to Archbishop Stepanak down the road in White Plains. You know who went to Archbishop Stepanak?
Come on, fill me in. I can't wait.
Marty Conlon.
Oh, another Providence guy. Wow, you're going back to the old school Big East days.
Westchester kids here in New Rochelle. We got a 3-point game with 7 and change to go. Sam Abizake guarding the ball in for Monmouth now. 5 to shoot, Sevier to the rim. John Sevier showing off the moves. Hornbeek, air ball. Iona can take the lead. Quick shot there from Sevier. Robinson almost got it to drop on the continuation as he was fouled by Crawford.
Well, I'm glad they had a stoppage in play because the pace of this game right now, up and down, and it favors both teams right here. You're going to take a look at the reigning player of the year, Justin Robinson, in transition. And that's not what you want if you're Iona. You're big, trying to slow him down.
12 for Robinson. He's 5 of 5 from the line. Tillman back in, takes a spot of Louis Pilari with under 6:30 left.
And there's very few weaknesses in Robinson's game. We talked about it, over 40 from the three-point line, one of the league leaders in assists. And just when I was ready to praise his free throw shooting, he misses one, but he's an 86% free throw shooter coming into this game.
Washington was in a battle there with Ibizabe. And Sam Ibizabe, the freshman from Connecticut, commits the foul. Number 7 on Monmouth, and Iona in the bonus. Washington will attempt the 1-and-1 trip.
Yeah, and right now the referee's talking to Washington, and I talked about it earlier in the game. The reaction, again, referees don't like being shown up, and that time, referee talking to him about the reaction, and certainly, again, you don't want any extracurriculars, in particular technical fouls, picked up because of your reaction to a foul call.
A missed front end. Monmouth chance to extend a 2-point lead. Brady's back in for Monmouth. Got a blow with 3 fouls. Hornbeak through the hands of Tillman. Not to Severe. To Cassell. And we're tied at 61. Revved up at the Heinz Athletic Center. Kick out to James to quiet the crowd. And a steal. Josh James again. Wow, 5 points in a matter of seconds for the senior. And Tim Cluse is called for time.
Well, the first option out of the zone, I was going to say Iona needs to identify the three-point shooters, but Monmouth was able to break down that matchup zone and then find a wide-open three-point shooter and then careless with the ball. And Monmouth, just like that, takes the crowd out of this game. Beautiful execution by Monmouth on the road, that time out of the matchup zone. And then the turnover and deuce quiets the crowd.
King Rice's team with the lead on the road over their rival Iona, 66-61. Monmouth on top after Josh James hits a 3 to quiet the crowd, and then a steal adds 2 more points to it.
And I like what Coach King Rice has done here. Extend their defense, little three-quarter court pressure, just to try to slow Iona down, and he's done a nice job changing the defenses up in this game.
Managing his rotation well, too. Brady in now with 3. He's got his main 5 guys on the floor. Here's Crawford. That's been his spot. E.J. Crawford, the freshman. Robinson, too much. Washington kept it in.
And that's on Tillman of Monmouth. He's had to understand you have to crowd Crawford. Cannot give him any space.
Washington offensive board. Fouls. It'll go to the line with a chance now to tie the game once again. 4th foul on Chris Brady.
And that's one that Washington's mad at himself, and he realizes that should have been a and-one situation. Great work on the offensive glass, and that's one he would love to have back to finish off and to have an opportunity for a three-point play.
We've received word. Steve Fennig, our producer, says he's made the call. We're going to try to get you a replica fathead from BC 1993.
I like it. You must know people. As we look at some important free throws for Washington right now, and you know, he's so impressive in terms of when he is on, he is one of the most difficult bigs to guard in the conference. Can do it all, inside, outside, put the ball on the floor. But foul trouble has always been the key issue for him, or one of the key issues.
And he's now 5 of 12 from the line. Iona as a team is 8 of 17. That's why they're still down by 2. Brady with the screen, frees up Hornbeek. 10 to shoot. Jalon Hornbeek sets up Seaborn. Short, barely grazed the net, and Cassell almost stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, very fortunate right there.
Stripped. Cassell got it back, but Brady holds on for dear life and then gives it up. Follow the bouncing ball. Iona will get it back. Into the home stretch. Only fitting, it's Monmouth and Iona to close the MAC regular season. The two heavyweights in a bout down to 2. MAC men's and women's basketball championships are back at the Times Union Center in Albany, New York, March 2nd through the 6th. For tickets, visit macsports.com/basketball or Ticketmaster.com. The MAC men's and women's basketball championships, it is the tournament before the tournaments. And Malcolm Huckabee, it's going to be Monmouth, the #1 seed. They'll play in the quarterfinals on Friday. Iona locked into the 3 seed, so if they were to meet, wouldn't be until the championship. And certainly for Monmouth on a mission to finally break through to the big dance.
Yeah, they are, and obviously it's a big game here today as well, too. I think for the psyche, and you talked about it, and the confidence of both teams going into the MAC conference tournament. Right now, though, for Iona, the one really sour spot for them has been free throw shooting. They're 8 of 17 in this game, 47%, left a lot of points out on the board.
By comparison, Monmouth 16 for 24. High-low. Washington against Quinn. Oh, the help. Robinson came away with the steal. Robinson, player of the year-like tendencies, now going to the stripe for 2.
Well, it was 2 heads-up plays by Robinson. First, to shade over on the weak side behind Washington. He never saw Robinson coming on the double team right here. That's just a great double team by Robinson, and then not settling for a jumper, realizing they had an imbalance in terms of Iona getting back on defense, not settling for a jumper. Heads up play both times by Robinson.
He's now 6 of 7 from the line today. King Rice, 6 years leading the Monmouth program. Robinson, the cornerstone of this senior class, now with 14, and the lead is back to 4 for the Hawks.
Hard to believe. Very few scholarship offers for Justin Robinson, which presumably is going to be the 2-time MAC Player of the Year.
Hornbeek transferred in with the steal. James, the look-off, finishes at the rim. 9 for James. And before the shot, John Sevier fouled by Jalon Hornbeek. Not a bad foul, the 9th on Monmouth. And instead of a clean shot at the rim, bonus strip now for Sevier.
And you called it the look off that time by Johnson. Beautiful play. Really just froze the defense and then was able to finish. And then back on the other end, you're right, that's a good foul, putting Iona on the line if you're Monmouth. And obviously, Iona really has struggled from the free throw line today.
Jan Svanderlich in. Washington's going to sit. So Tim Clue starting to think big picture with the foul trouble. He'll sit Washington defensively. And Sevier now with another free throw.
And it's a big one again, keeping pace with Monmouth. And for Iona right now, make or miss, you're going to have to think about closing out on three-point shooters.
Robinson and James have combined for the last 12 for Monmouth. 3 minutes left. Lob out for Tillman. 9 to shoot. Across. Hornbeek, the fake. And the 3 for Jalon Hornbeek, now at 23.
And that's why I said it's so important for Iona, their closeout on three-point shooters. Again, Monmouth, one of the better in the league, just like Iona. And if you close out poorly, they are going to make you pay. In particular, Hornbeek and Robinson, they're excellent at head faking, stepping back for threes.
Hornbeek is 5 of 7 from 3. Iona taking a timeout down by 7, and like you said, Malcolm Huckabee, they've been clean looks the entire day.
Yeah, they really have. And, you know, one of the things with Monmouth, what makes them so dangerous, it's just not Justin Robinson.
Yeah.
You got Hornby. We've talked about some of the other guys. Tillman, to me, is the X factor for them. He does a little bit of everything for that team, and their bigs are impressive. They're able to score down low when they get their opportunities. But obviously, when you have the reigning two-time player of the year, Justin Robinson, he is going to be the guy to close out games. But it's been a team effort here today on the road by Monmouth, that time to step back, and poor closeout by Iona.
Gales have trailed by as many as 8. The lead is now 7. And you talk about Monmouth's balance. You know, Robinson's the only guy on this team averaging more than 30 minutes a game. This day and age, that's pretty rare to have a team that can go 1 through 11, maybe some nights 12, and not work one man too much.
And that's the reason why I think they have a clear edge statistically as well, obviously, going into the MAC tournament, because, again, their depth and they have guys that can come at you off the bench.
Gales without a field goal for nearly 3 minutes. Washington won't get one there, but he will go to the line. Diego Quinn with the foul. Problem is Washington's 5 of 12 from the line today.
Well, he reminds me so much of Laurie, a guy that they've had in the past with his spin moves right here. That's just a quick spin move, and it's so difficult to guard. Again, a lot of bigs aren't used to guarding guys that are quick with the ball, quick spins. He can put it on the floor. We talked about that. So just really a tough matchup.
Quinn's fouled out, so they get Brady back in. And Chris Brady with 4 fouls. Something to watch here down the stretch with 2:17 left. Iona's made more shots than Monmouth, but from the foul line, they are a combined 10 of 20, and Washington 5 of 13 now.
And there's your difference in the game right there. The difference between being down 7 in this ball game or being tied or up, the free throw shooting woes of Iona.
Ends the drought. Washington pulls the Gales within 6. And if there's any guy you want the ball in his hands, time scoring situation, it's Justin Robinson. Has it with 8 to shoot against Sevier. Robinson goes to work. Up and under, yes! Off the window for Justin Robinson.
Big-time players want the ball at the end of the game. And Justin Robinson, just like Iona had last year in A.J. English, Justin Robinson wants the ball at the end of games.
Who touched it? Last tipped by Monmouth, but Robinson finds a way. They were going old North Carolina style there. King Rice knows about that, and this man makes it worthwhile.
Well, you're not going to guard Justin Robinson one-on-one. That time, Iona just elected to do that, and he just blew right by the defender. He's just too good to guard one-on-one.
Sevier, no. Gets his own rebound. So back-to-back offensive boards for Iona. Washington, contact, they let it go, and he scores, and Tim Cluse calls for time with 1:11 left. His team now down by 6. Jordan Washington with 16.
Well, Iona doing the right thing that time, going back down low to Washington. Monmouth slow on the help, and then he made him pay. But back on the other end, all right, here we're going to take a look at Washington, and yeah, I like the no call. Now, again, you could have potentially called a charge on that, but what I didn't like in that situation, Brady was already leaning back, trying to take a charge. He wasn't trying to establish himself. He was just setting up to try to force the refs to call a charge, and I like the no call by the referees in that situation.
Now, Tim Cluse has just taken Iona's final timeout with 1:11 remaining. It's a 6-point game. And the last time down we saw Monmouth take almost 30 seconds on the shot clock. Can Iona afford to play it straight and allow that much time to come off in a 2-possession game?
Well, I think right now they're going to try to trap. Now, they did it earlier in the possession where they tried to take the ball out of Justin Robinson's hand. The problem with it is, though, Monmouth's a very good free throw shooting team. So, again, you got to kind of pick your poison. I like them trying to speed Monmouth up, but what you cannot do is give up an open three because you decide to trap Justin Robinson.
Hawks have hit 9 threes. They're shooting 69% today from the line. Download the Mac app to get instant updates on Mac news, scores, standings, and videos straight to your mobile device. Go to the App Store or Google Play to download today, or visit macsports.com/mobile for more information. This is the time of the year you want to know exactly what's happening in the MAC. Tournament time next week. Got it into Hornbeek. Knocked away, and Cassell with the steal. Kicks it out for Much. 1 minute to go. Severe attacks Seaborn. Redirect. Severe, no. Rebound in midair, he sticks it. 4-point game. Robinson draws the trap. Tillman across midcourt, and now he's fouled by McGill. That's his first. Nonetheless, Monmouth is in the double bonus and 2 shots coming up for Austin Tillman.
And this is where Tillman, I think, is the X factor. Against pressure, he is so strong with the ball. You're not going to bump him off the ball. Now, right here, this is just excellent work by Severe on the offensive glass, off of his own miss. And then Tillman on the other end, again, so strong with the ball. And now it's going to come down to securing the ball and knocking down free throws for Monmouth.
Tillman now 2 of 4 today. Washington back in. He'll take Svanderlik's spot. And James takes Seaborn's place for Monmouth with 44 seconds to go.
And this is the luxury that King Rice has. Very good free throw shooting team, and all the guys out on the court right now, the ball handlers above 70% from the free throw line.
Huge free throws for Austin Tillman. The lead back to 6. Iona can't take too much time. McGill takes the 2 instead, and now they'll press off the make. Tillman taking some time here. They go for the steal. Tillman gets it back. Clock running out on the Gales, though, but it's lost by Hornbeek. 20 seconds. Severe on a kick out. Cassell can't waste too much time. McGill, 3-pointer, no. Robinson with it. Runs into Earl Walton, the referee, and turns it over. But that entire sequence took over 30 seconds. And King Rice will use the timeout for Monmouth.
Well, Justin Robinson was a very good high school football player. He said he was an excellent defensive back, and he looked like one on that last possession, trying to pick up a loose ball. And then right here, just a turnover, careless by Hornbeek, but then Iona races up, had a pretty good look. You can't ask for a better look right there. And then right here, Justin Robinson getting after it, trying to come up with that rebound, and off Monmouth, and now Iona's going to get another opportunity at a look. And I think in this situation right here, you have to be thinking 3-pointer. I don't think 9.8 seconds left. You have enough time to mess around with it. You got to try to penetrate, kick, or try to create an individual one-on-one move and get a 3 off.
4-point game, 9.8 seconds. Remember, Iona without a timeout remaining. It's going to be McGill to trigger. With Much, Severe, Cassell, and Washington. Cassell slipped. Oh, steps with 8.6 remaining.
Right now, if you're Iona, if you're going to face guard, you have to make sure you have somebody back as a safety Monmouth could have an opportunity to run somebody long.
Hawks 8.6 seconds away from a series sweep. But a foul before the inbounds. Seaborn knocking McGill down. Too many gifts for the Gales, and they're still alive, down 4.
And right here, he did it right in front of the referee. Yeah, anytime you extend the arm, and again, I don't think that was an active call. Anytime you extend the arm, in particular that time right in front of the ref, they're going to call that. In particular, 8.6 seconds left. Good denial defense by Iona.
Make sure the spot on the floor where he fell down is cleared. Wet spot hurt Cassell earlier. Gale still alive. McGill to trigger again. It's Cassell, long 3. Bounces twice, no good. 5.1 to go, and Washington coming down was fouled. Nope, you know what? It may have hit the wire supporting the backboard. It's going back to the Hawks.
Right now, the referee telling Tillman he cannot run the baseline.
Sevier with the foul, trying to keep it away from Hornbeek with 4.9 remaining. And now Jalon Hornbeek chance to extend the lead and put it away for good.
Iona almost came up with another turnover. Now, as you said, Hornbeek's going to be on the line. And another good free throw shooter for Monmouth.
Well, we talked at the top. This was just the preview because these teams very well could meet in the MAC tournament final in 8 days in Albany. Monmouth, 20-game league schedule, on the verge of becoming the first ever in the MAC to win 18 league games in a season. They'll play only 18 next year. A change there among the coaches. But to sweep Iona, it's never happened under Tim Cluse. The Hawks about to do it.
Well, it was an impressive team performance all around as we take a look at much. But it was a complete team effort by Monmouth on the road, and that's been the story all year for this Monmouth team. Yes, they have, I believe, the 2-time Player of the Year in the conference, but they have such great balance on offense and defense. They are a very difficult team to match up against.
18 league wins, the regular season champs, 16 consecutive, 79-73. They win over Iona and sweep the season series in New Rochelle.